What's happening, everyone? This is RRPG here with another 2 cents video on the 2 cents block just for you. First of all, the game on screen is Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Game Boy Advance. I already did a Let's Play on the SNES version that re-released on the Wii Virtual Console, and I still endorse that game as one of the greatest sequels to a great franchise that came during the days of the Super Nintendo era. Now for the Game Boy Advance re-release, this handheld version is actually not that bad. Too bad it doesn't have the same quality of audio that the SNES has, and if there were some other nitpicks to brag about, then the frame rate and physics can be a bit wonky when in the heat of the game. Now, let's just say that it's not that top-notch as the original Super Nintendo game, but it's still a solid game with the addition of more hero coins and the new golden feathers to collect. Be sure to track down a copy at a used game store, or pray and hope that this game, along with the other GBA Donkey Kong Country games, makes it to the 3DS Virtual Console in the future. Nintendo would earn more respect in the retro market if they did that. Please, Nintendo, make it happen. Alright, now let's get on with today's topic since it is in relation to Donkey Kong. In a recent post from a Nintendo fan site in courtesy of NeoGAF, Camelot Software Planning's president, Hiroyuki Takahashi, has expressed interest in wanting to create a new 3D Donkey Kong game, in which he stated specifically that he wants to make a sequel to Rare's Donkey Kong 64. Takahashi-san has high regards for that game, and he thinks that a sequel to that game would be something he would want to work on next for Camelot. From this post by Takahashi-san, I wholeheartedly agree with what he is saying. Donkey Kong 64 is one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games that I have ever played, and I did a Let's Play of that game last year. Goes to show you how much I endorse it for being a 3D masterpiece that Rare worked on before they became nothing more than a dog on Microsoft's leash. As you may know, Camelot Software Planning has a big history with making games such as the Shining Force trilogy on the Sega Genesis, and they have a great relationship with Nintendo by helping them make the Mario Golf and Mario Tennis games from the N64 up until now. Plus, we cannot forget the masterpiece of an RPG franchise that is known as Golden Sun. I think now is about time that Camelot shifts gears with trying to make a 3D exploration game for once. If Nintendo granted them the opportunity to greenlight a sequel to Donkey Kong 64, then I say mazel tov to that. If not, then grant them the opportunity to at least make a 3DS or Wii U remake of Donkey Kong 64 by all means. Now, Mr. Iwata from Nintendo, I know you told investors that you want to outsource development of your big IPs to other trusted developers ranging from the first, second, and third-party divisions, so I think that doing something like this will only give you a better rep with this direction. I give my thumbs up and seal of approval for you guys to do this. Come on, Nintendo. As I said before, make it happen. Now, I want to address the community of Nintendo fans on this subject who heavily endorse this as much as I do. When I caught a glimpse of this news story, I saw posts by Nintendo fans with some of them wanting Camelot to do this, while a vast majority of them want Retro Studios to be the ones to take up this opportunity. I'm not kidding. I've been seeing people post stuff like, if a 3D Donkey Kong game should be done, then Retro Studios should be in charge of development. Or, Retro Studios would be better suited for the job than Camelot Software Planning. And they even said, Camelot shouldn't do it as Retro Studios is more reliable. Guys, come on. Do you realize that Retro Studios is way too busy working on their Wii U game that they didn't show off at this year's E3? For God's sakes, they can't make every new type of game forever. Don't get me wrong. I love Retro Studios as much as the next guy, and with them being a first-party developer for Nintendo, and I think they are this generation's Rare. But even a company like them has their limits with what they can work on at the moment. They aren't gods when it comes to creating a plethora of video games like Rare back in the 90s, as they spend more quality time with making sure that their games reach perfect results. Take a look at the Metroid Prime games, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Mario Kart 7 when they collaborated with Nintendo. They achieved quality instead of quantity, and their development team isn't that heavily diversified as what Rare was back in the day. Camelot would be a better candidate because they have a great relationship with Nintendo with all the great content they pumped out for them for the last 15 years. So I think it's time for them to at least take the helm of making a sequel to Donkey Kong 64. Don't you think it's time for them to do something new outside of Golden Sun, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis for once? I do. Support them for that plea, and let them take a stab at something new. Then you can be the judge if that game is ever made, and if it ever comes out. Now, I want to hear from all of you. Do you think that Camelot would be best suited for a Donkey Kong 64 sequel in hopes to try something new? Do you think a different developer aside from Retro Studios should take that opportunity? Or do you think Camelot has better potential to handle something else aside from the Donkey Kong brand? Be sure to leave a comment notifying me of your own 2 cents, and be sure to rate this video and subscribe to my channel for more content coming from me in the future. This is RRPG signing off, and thanks for watching.